Hey there, Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome, thanks for joining me. Today's video, I'm going to talk about a song called Them Changes. Probably the first version I know of, Buddy Miles, Jimi Hendrix, I'm not really sure which one came first. Kenny Wayne Shepherd did a great version of it a couple decades ago now. It's been a while. But it's a really cool tune because of how it uses the minor pentatonic scale to make the riff. And I think that's pretty hip. And it's also going to switch between the minor and the major sound. So we're going to start up here on an E. But we're actually going to play the A minor pentatonic scale. So we're going to start with E, E, G, E, pull off to D. You can either slide down to the C or grab it with your pinky on the 8th fret of the 6th string. And then we have the two A's. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if you make sure you count yourself in on stuff like this. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, now the second part of the riff is also going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and the last note doesn't have to be there. Sometimes different artists will put one there, and you can hit the low E again, you can hit an upper E, you can hit like an E7 chord. We'll get to that. We're gonna do B, B, D, B, A, G, E. Okay, so this is the E minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so B, B, D, 7, 7, 5, 7, 5, 3, open, open, or I like an E7 sharp 9 there. It's kind of a fun little option. But if we put the whole thing together, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that handles, I'll say, the main riff. Now, what's kind of cool about this song, there's really only two parts. That's the main riff. Starts right off at the beginning, and pretty much every recording I hear, that's the main riff. Other than that, it's kind of just an E major, E7-y kind of thing. And again, this is one of those ones that's going to sort of depend on which version that you hear. But it's basically, think of like an E chord. I'll start with an E chord. 1 and 2 is going to be the 5 of that chord. So the 2nd fret on the 5th string. And we're going to get an E major type sound. So 1 and 2 and 3. Going to hammer on from the B to the C sharp. 1 and 2 and 3 and that's where I'm going to hammer from the E to the F sharp on the 2nd to the 4th fret of the 4th string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I do a little grace note there. You don't have to. Okay, that's the Kenny Wayne Shepherd version. I kind of dig that little grace note that he does. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and I'm on this F sharp. When I say beat 4, I'm going to do a quick grace note again. And back to the E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, it's beat 2 where you can have some fun. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So usually it's some sort of E7. It could be like an open E7, could be an upper E7, could be an E9. Again, you could do an E7 sharp 9. I don't know if I do E7 sharp 9. It kind of gives it a more minory sound. It's really a more majory type of riff. And because that first riff is very minor, we kind of want that, minor for the main riff. We want that major sound for the verse. And that's where all the singing happens. It's also where the soloing happens. It's where everything else happens in the song. You do it a bunch of times, and then you do that main riff again. That's the whole song. I love songs like that. Simple, easy, plenty of time for soloing, not as much on the singing. That's what I like. Okay, so as far as soloing, how would you solo over it? The E minor pentatonic scale. Your friend and mine. The greatest scale ever. The E minor pentatonic scale. You could use the blues notes. It's no problem. But again, super simple. If you wanted to step outside a little bit, if you wanted to take it a little bit further, something like a Dorian scale can also be a fun option over something like this. This is a very blues rock, classic rock kind of thing. The Dorian scale often sounds great in those instances if you like modes. But again, the E minor blues scale is such a great way to approach this stuff. Highly recommended. That's kind of where you go, right? So it's a great little tune. Again, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really all there is to it. There's obviously, again, depending on which version you listen to, there are subtle variations and subtle differences, but that'll get you 95% of the way there to whatever version you enjoy. So it'll tell you where all the notes are. Now, a lot of them are going to be tuned down. I know the Kenny Wayne Shepherd one is tuned down. I'm playing in E. I believe the Buddy Miles one is in E. The Hendrix one is probably somewhere between E and E flat. Old school, tuned to whatever. Kenny Wayne Shepherd one is tuned down a half step in E flat, but it's going to be somewhere in there depending on what you're working with, okay? So, have fun with that. As always, if you have guitar playing friends that you think would dig this video, hope you'll share it with them. And I am Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.